Hi, I'm Linda Spears, co-founder of Homesteaders of Iowa. I want to personally invite you to join us at our 2026 Expo and Midwest Conference on February 27th and 28th at Bridgeview Center, Ottumwa, Iowa, where we have speakers, workshops, vendors, and more. Welcome to Girl Talk on the Homestead, where we talk about the real side of homesteading, not just the pretty parts, but the busy, messy, how do we all do these parts? Today, I'm really excited to be joined by Lucy Ann Walker. Lucy manages her family's business, homegrown herbalist, coordinates speaking events, travels with the team, homeschools her kids, and still somehow finds time to live the homestead life. So today we're going to have some honest girl talk about how she manages all of that, what keeps her grounded, how she stays sane, and in the middle of it all. Lucy, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so excited to be here with you, Linda. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Please tell us a little about your role at Homegrown Herbalist and what you will bring to our expo.
Okay, so I am the general manager at Homegrown Herbalist. So I get the fun job where I get to tell everybody what to do. So it's good. And we at Homegrown Herbalist, we have an online supplement side of the business. And then we also have an education platform where we teach people about herbs and other natural healing modalities. So it's a very fulfilling job. Um, and then as far as your conference, I'm so excited to be coming. We were there last year and it was one of my highlights of the whole year. Fabulous conference. Dr. Jones will be coming and he's going to be speaking a few times. He's a fabulous speaker, so entertaining. I've heard his lectures over and over the years, and it doesn't matter how many times I hear it. I always learn something and I always laugh at the jokes, and it's just a lot of fun. Um, and I'm going to be speaking on 8 herbs that every homesteader should know and grow. And I'm really excited about that topic. When I was putting that lecture together, there's hundreds of plants we could talk about, so many fabulous medicinals and nutritional plants that we could discuss. But I was very specific on my criteria for which plants to put in that lecture. I wanted them to be plants that people could easily cultivate, that they could grow and harvest and use within a season. Some of them are more difficult and finicky. So I wanted ones that really would be usable and people could hit the ground running. I also wanted plants that were multifunctional, that maybe would accomplish many things medicinally or could also work as a nutritive or a garden fertilizer or an animal feed or just multi-purpose plants. So I narrowed my list down and we're going to be talking about those plants and there will be recipes and I'll be talking about how to really incorporate it in your day-to-day life so that it's functional and you can just hit the ground running this growing season. That was my focus for the lecture. So I'm
I
really
I
excited.
can't,
It's going to be great.
yeah, I can't wait to hear it. So, and for people who don't know you yet, who is Lucy outside of your titles and your to-do lists?
Oh, goodness. Well, I guess I would say first, I was raised very Christian. I was raised by Dr. Patrick Jones and my mom, Lori Ann Jones. My mom and dad were a very Christian-based home. Uh, I'm the third oldest of 15 children, so that was quite an adventure growing up. Um, 11 of my siblings are adopted, and we actually had 7 children come into our family in one year. So that was really an exciting time. A lot of those children came from Haiti, and so they didn't speak the same language as us. They spoke a French Creole, different culture, different backgrounds. So it was kind of a big transition time for my family. And my the interesting thing about that is that every single one of those children in our family are very musically inclined. So music is really, really important to me. And I feel kind of like music was almost a gift from God to our family to be able to come together and become like a family unit during that crazy time where we had so many different children coming in. My parents used music to bind us together, and they bought a whole bunch of violins off of eBay and found a local fiddle instructor who came into our home and taught us all violin. And his mom taught us guitar, and they got us piano lessons. And pretty soon we were pretty good, actually. And we started performing all around Idaho and Utah. We would do a couple gigs a month, actually. And it was really fun, and it just bonded us together as a family. So, yeah, I guess that's a really big part of who I am, would be music. And family is really important. And yeah,
Well, that's very, very interesting. Music is a universal language, and I can
yeah,
see how it helped you to be able to communicate. That's
yeah.
very, very interesting. You juggle business, travel, homeschooling, homesteading, and family. What does a normal day look like for you?
It's very organized. My days have to go like exactly um, in the proper order and time. So we get up early. We are down at the kitchen table at 6 a.m. I go through all of the lessons with the kids, and we get all the homeschool, lessons done and their assignments laid out for the day. Um, and then, and while I'm doing that, my husband is getting the older kids off to seminary and back, and then he makes breakfast. And so our mornings are so routine. And then we do the chores. We feed the chickens and the cows and gather the eggs and, take care of the goats and all of those fun things. And then I'm off to work by about 9:30. And every work day is different. I don't know. But I have my
No.
routine there too. And I, go to the different department heads and check in on their departments and see how, what does production need today? And are there is anything going on there that needs my help? And I just go through all the different department heads, and then I get all of my tasks done and usually spend the afternoons helping write curriculum or lectures or things like that. And then I'm off by 4, go home, listen to kids play piano, watch them do their dance practice, haul them off to their play practices and piano lessons and clogging teams and all of that. And then we do dinner and chores and um, scripture studies, prayers, bedtime. I don't know. It's very, very routine. That's how I get through it all.
So do you feel like you're getting everything balanced, or is it constantly like shifting plates?
It would depend on the day. On my good days, I would say yes, it's pretty balanced. But there's definitely times where it feels like, you know, it's a lot. But I've found that it's really important to be like intentional in the moment. Like there's so many things, especially for women, like we always have a million things going through our minds that we're thinking about, and what's coming next and all the things that have to happen, and it can be so overwhelming. And I have found that if I'm intentional in the moment I'm in, when I'm at the homeschool table and I'm teaching a child, their math or their reading or whatever we're working on, like that is what I'm doing right now. I'm homeschooling this child. When I'm at work and I'm writing a lecture, I have to be focused and intentional in that moment and not let, all the other aspects of life come in and overwhelm me, right? So, yeah, as long as I can be living in that moment and intentional and not let the overwhelm overtake me, I think it's a more successful day.
So what's the first thing that starts slipping when you're doing too much?
Laundry.
I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, probably that. You have to be at peace sometimes and realize that there's only so many hours in a day and you
Yeah.
only have so much you can get done, and
And
it's okay
baskets are
sometimes,
fine.
right? Yeah, like it'll wait. It'll wait.
Yeah,
It'll
it'll wait.
keep.
Do you have any non-negotiables that help you stay sane?
Non-negotiables. So I would say many years ago, I don't know where this quote came from, or I'm sure someone brilliant said it, but I heard this quote, God first, family second, career third. And that's
Yeah.
definitely a non-negotiable for me. Like first and foremost, I am a Christian. I have my relationship with God and my Savior. And then after that, my kids and my husband would be next. And making sure that my kids are getting the education that they need, that their, physical needs are met, that they're feeling loved, that, we're helping nurture and grow their talents and um, that all of their needs are being met, and the same for my husband, that he's fulfilled and happy in his life. And then after that would be career and making sure that the business is functioning and the staff is happy and everything's going smoothly, the customers are having a good experience. So that would be a pretty big non-negotiable for me. And when I'm in alignment in that way, God first, family second, career third, everything seems to work and fall in place and function as it should. And the times in my life where things have, maybe blurred a little on those lines of those categories is when it's harder. Yes. So, yeah.
Is there anything that you just kind of set aside or decided to not do anymore, um, just to make your life easier and for you to be able to follow your goals?
Things I've set aside. I don't read as much as I'd like to. I was an avid reader and I don't have a ton of time for that now. I wish I did. I need to do more of that. But no, I pretty well am doing what I want to be doing, like raising these kids and homeschooling and working for a fabulous company and having good family relationships. That's what's important to me. So I've pretty well, my husband and I were pretty intentional about how we designed our lives and what we wanted it to look like. And yeah, I'm living what I want to live.
That's great. And you do work real closely with family.
Yes.
And how do you keep that from going into a burnout or conflicts or blurring the lines too much?
Yeah. Well, I've always said to my family members that I work with that family is before career. Like it's more important to me than the business. And at the end of the day, those relationships are so important and so valuable. So I would never want business to interfere with, the health and wellness of those relationships. That being said, we are pretty professional when we're at work and we have a hierarchy and we, you know, work together and um, make sure that we're respectful, good coworkers. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, when I watch you interact, you have a lot of fun together.
So much fun. Yeah, yeah. We joke and laugh and have a good time and it's really I don't know. I think family businesses are really unique and special in a way. And it's I don't know. Ours is so special to me. We are a family, yes, but we're also different and bring such different talents and skills to the table. I have a brother who's an absolute IT genius. He can do anything with a computer. Um, I'm not that. I don't, no, no. My dad is an incredible teacher and a scientist and a healer. Um, I have a sister who works for us, Jenny, and she is the most incredible uh, creator of school curriculums. She can take a really complex, difficult, kind of abstract idea and distill it in a way that is so consumable and easy to understand for people. And it's just a beautiful gift that she brings and is so good at. And then I have a brother-in-law who works for us, and he has a PhD in anatomy and physiology, and is the science brain, and keeps us all grounded in the science, and it's just interesting. And then I'm the big picture person who can see where we should go as a business and what exciting things are over the next hill, and I can see all the players and how we're going to work together to reach our destination. So it's just really interesting that yes, we're family and we have a lot in common and can communicate well because we are family members, but at the same time, we're so different and bring such different ideas and views and skills and talents to the table that it's just fun. It's cool.
That
I
is
wouldn't
really
have it any
cool.
other way.
Yeah, I know last year when your dad came, he got there first, and he says, "Oh, I just bring this in. Lucy will do her magic with it."
Yeah,
So he did his part. He got it
he
there,
did. He got there.
and and then when you came, it was all put together.
Yeah.
So I can see that. What's one thing on the homestead that actually supports your life rather than adding more work?
This might be silly, but probably sourdough. And I call myself a lazy sourdough mom. People can get really complicated and fancy and artistic with it. And, they do all the folding and stretching and all the fancy things. And I just kind of throw things in the bowl and let it rise and do its thing and cook it. And it takes me absolutely no time, but tastes good and it's a nutritional addition for my family. And I love doing it. Maybe someday when I have more time, I'll get into it more as a hobbyist and artist and do more with it. But
And
yeah,
then you'll probably go back to the way you're doing it because
probably
it's easier
mix some
and it
more
does just
ingredients
the
and call it a
same.
day.
So we'll just have to have you do a sourdough class.
It would be really short. So short. Like, don't overcomplicate it, guys. Put
That's
it in the bowl,
okay.
mix it together, throw it in the oven.
What would you say to women who feel like they're always behind or dropping the ball?
You know, give yourself a little grace.
Mm.
Women, especially, I think, can be really hard on ourselves, and we carry really a lot as mothers, as homesteaders, as businesswomen, as whatever it is we're doing in our lives. We take on a lot. And I think it's okay to step back and look at what you have done and be at peace with that and give yourself some grace and knowing that you're doing the best that you can and you're not going to be able to accomplish every single thing on that to-do list ever. And it's okay. That's okay. You're enough.
That is excellent. Right now, what does a good, successful season look like for you?
When the kids are happy and doing well in all of their things, when the garden is functioning and, you know, feeding my family nutritious good things. I love being able to go to conferences and shows and be able to hear the difference, the changes that are happening in people's lives as they get to know the herbs. Uh, I don't know. I guess success would be measured in seeing the fruits of our labors, whether it's a wonderful garden harvest or a wonderful child experience, a happy Mother's Day where, your child is able to do something really well and be proud of a job well done. Um, or just see the change and effect that is in people's lives as they're learning and growing and healing themselves.
Cool. What do people thank you for that you don't always realize how it matters to them?
Growing up as uh, in a home that was so, I guess my parents were doing the homestead homeschool thing before it was cool. They were kind of outer fringy kind of people where, they had all of us kids and were had the big gardens and had the animals and homeschooling us and all that. Um, I don't remember where I was going with this. What was the question?
What do people thank you for?
Oh, yeah. So living that life with the herbs being used every day. And, I never went to the doctor until I was in my 20s. I didn't need to because we had herbs and we solved our problems. And I guess when you're something is so incorporated into your life, like herbal medicine was for me, sometimes I forget how so many people don't have that anymore. Our culture's kind of lost it. And a lot of people don't know how powerful hops can be for pain or comfrey can be for healing a wound or things like that. And so it's always inspiring to me when people come to us, and we get emails all the time from people like, oh, wow, I can't believe this herb was able to solve this problem for me. And, I'm not in pain anymore, or my IBS is feeling so much better, or whatever it is. And it's just kind of eye opening to go, wow, this is really changing people's lives. And sometimes I forget how powerful and cool it is because it's such a part of my everyday, like I grew up with it. I live it. I use herbs all the time and just out of habit and out of just that's how I live. And so it's always kind of eye-opening when you talk to somebody who is just starting the journey and just experiencing the first couple of miracles with these plants. And it's neat. It reminds me, you know, not everybody has this and we need to get the word out. And yeah.
Hey, Lucy, thank you so much for sharing your heart and your real life with us. I know a lot of women watching are going to walk away encouraged and maybe feel a little less alone. Thank you for being willing to do some real good girl talk on the homestead.
Yeah.
If our viewers would like to continue this conversation, Lucy will be teaching 8 plants that every homesteader should know and grow at the Homesteaders of Iowa Expo. You can visit homesteadersofiowa.com to learn more and to purchase tickets. Lucy, is there anything else on your heart you'd like to leave with us today?
Just going back, just give yourself some grace and just do your best in the moment and understand that it's not a race and it's not even the final destination that's the most important thing in our day to day. It's the journey and being willing to enjoy the moments as they come and not allow overwhelm to um, paralyze and set you back when you're doing a great job and you got it.
Thank you. No matter what you're facing, time, resources, or just trying to make it all work, remember this: God provides. You're
That's right.
not doing this alone.
Hope.
Thank you for watching. The end.
Okay. That was fun.
Ah, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I've never done one of these before, so this is the first time for
Well,
me.
I've never led one before. Usually Randy's getting it all together and
Right.
this is what you're going to say. So I say,
Good.
okay.
So where is your podcast? Where can I find it?
Um, on our website,
Okay. I'll go look there.
if you go to homesteadersofiowa.com, it's on the homepage.
Okay.
That yeah, the video's go right there first thing. That's
Cool.
I'm the IT person here, and I'm not as good as Evan.
I don't
So
do anything. If I have any sort of computer trouble, nope, nope, Evan.
I want to do a scrolling thing for these Wednesday updates, but I haven't figured that out yet.
Oh,
So, but I created that all from nothing. So
yeah.
it's
Well,
something. But, okay.
very good. Well, we're excited to come. I'm, I love your conference. It was so wonderful last year. So,
Well, thank you.
so excited.
Yeah, we are too.
4 more weeks.
So I don't think I can stop the recording. I
I think
think you
I
have to
do.
do that on your side.